What if I told you that procrastination isn't actually about being lazy? That it's not a time management problem or willpower won't really fix it? In fact, what if the very thing you think is holding you back is actually your brain trying to protect you? In this episode, I'm going to blow your mind about what procrastination really is, why your brain does it, and give you 3 scientifically backed strategies that will help you stop putting things off for good. Plus, I've got a free worksheet that's going to help you identify your personal procrastination triggers. So grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's finally tackle this thing that's been sabotaging your goals. Hey there, and welcome back to Hope Regained. I'm your host, Christiane Boudreau, and today we're diving deep into something that literally affects 95% of people. 95%. Can you believe that? It's procrastination. But here's what's really crazy. Everything you think you know about procrastination is probably wrong. You think you're just lazy, right? Or you think you just need to get your act together. Be more disciplined. Maybe download another productivity app. Nope. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's not about being disorganized. It's actually a coping mechanism. And once you understand what really is happening in that brain of yours when you procrastinate, everything will change. I used to be the queen of procrastination and putting things off. And I can still do it at times. Important emails would sit in my inbox, sometimes for weeks. I'd start a project at that very last possible minute. I had this constant background of anxiety weighing on my shoulders about all the things I should be doing, but wasn't. Does that sound familiar to you? Then I learned what procrastination really is, and it completely transformed how I approach, well, everything. So let's start there. Okay, so what is procrastination really? At its core, procrastination is emotional avoidance. It's your brain trying to protect you from negative feelings. Think about it. When do you procrastinate? Is it when you're about to do something fun and easy? I doubt it. You procrastinate when you're facing something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Maybe it's fear of failure or fear of judgment. You're overwhelmed, or you have the sense of perfectionism, or it could just be plain old boredom. Your brain is like, nope, this feels bad. Let's go check Instagram instead, or play that game. It's choosing short-term mood repair over long-term goals. And honestly, that's pretty smart from a survival standpoint. Our brain is all about survival, and we've talked about this before. Here's the thing though. Procrastination creates a vicious cycle. You avoid the task because it feels bad. But then you start to feel guilty about avoiding it, which makes you feel even worse, which makes you want to avoid it even more. It's like quicksand. You start sinking into it quickly. There are actually 4 main types of procrastination. And knowing which one you do most can be the game changer for you. So the self-awareness and journaling is key here, all over again. I'm going to list these 4 types and see if you can recognize yourself in there. The first one is the perfectionist. You put things off because you're afraid it won't be perfect. You'd rather not try something or risk doing it badly. I can identify with this one. I'm really hard on myself. I'm really tough on myself, probably more so than I am on those around me. I have high expectations and I want to live up to that. The dreamer. and I can relate to this one too. You're great at the big picture, but terrible at the details. You get excited about the ideas, but lose steam when it comes to the execution or putting the plan in motion. Then there's the worrier. You're paralyzed about the what if scenarios. My daughter's a big one on that. Sorry, Hope, had to tell everybody. You spend so much time thinking about everything that could go wrong that you never even start. And then the crisis maker. You actually work better under pressure, so you unconsciously create chaos by waiting until the last minute. But do you really work best under pressure? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Sometimes that's what we believe. So which one sounds like you? Or is it a combination? As I said, I identify with the perfectionist and the dreamer. So I had to work with those two. So I'm going to get a little bit nerdy on you right here for a minute, because understanding the science is actually what's going to help you beat this thing. In your brain, you've got two main players when it comes to decision making. There's your limbic system. Think of this as your emotional side, the impulsive toddler brain. And I've always said that emotions sometimes sneak over logic, because that heavy emotion takes a grip, it takes charge. It wants immediate gratification and will do anything to avoid discomfort. Then there's your prefrontal cortex. This is your rational, logic side, adult brain, as you might want to call it. And it can plan for the future and delay the gratification, thinking about the additional rewards as the gain. So those are the two parts of your brain that get used in this process. So when you procrastinate, your limbic system is basically having a tantrum, and it's overpowering the logic side, the prefrontal cortex. Emotion is very, very powerful. Again, I can't say it enough. And for a lot of us, it can overtake that logical side. It's about recognizing it. Think of it as having a screaming toddler in the middle of a grocery store. And sometimes the toddler will win, even when you know better. Here's the good news, though. You can train your brain. You can train your prefrontal cortex to be stronger. It's like a muscle. And there are specific strategies at work here that work with your brain's natural tendencies instead of against them. The key is understanding that willpower isn't enough. Unfortunately, as much as we'd like to think that that's a simple thing, it's just about the willpower. Willpower is finite. It gets depleted throughout the day, worn down, just like we all do. So if your strategy is just try harder, you're setting yourself up for failure. Don't do that to yourself. Put away that big baseball bat that we always talk about. Instead, we need to start working smarter, not harder. So what are those three strategies to beat procrastination? Well, here they are. And if you pay attention, have the self-awareness, and journal, it will help you get through them and start to implement them in your life. They're strategies that work. They work for me so far. And sometimes when I forget, I have to pull them back out again. So here are the three strategies that are backed by research, and I use them. There's number one, which is the 2-minute rule with a twist. You may have heard of the 2-minute rule because it's research backed. It's out there. It's a no-brainer. It's easily found. But if something takes less than 2 minutes, you can do it now. But I want you to flip this. When you're procrastinating on something big, commit to doing it for just 2 minutes. Set a timer if you need to. Tell yourself you can stop after those 2 minutes if you want to. Here's what's going to happen, though. Starting is the hardest part. Once you start, you often realize it's not as bad as you thought, and you'll naturally want to continue. You get into the swing of things. But even if you stop after those 2 minutes, you've broken that procrastination spell and created some momentum. It helps you to keep going. Strategy number 2, the procrastination equation. So this comes from research done by Dr. Piers Steele. The likelihood that you'll procrastinate depends on 4 factors: how much you expect to succeed, how much you value the task, how impulsive you are, how far away the deadline is. So, to beat it, there are ways to restructure those sentences, and you can write them down to help yourself. Increase your expectation of success. Break the tasks into smaller but manageable bites. Baby steps, I call them. That makes it easier to feel like you're gaining some success bit by bit. Increase the value of that task. Connect it to something you care about. You know that they say about memory relating somebody's name to something about them in person. Well, it's the same sort of thing. It's about relating that to something of value for yourself, tricking the brain. Decrease the impulsivity. So remove all the distractions. Create barriers for yourself. That can be a matter of turning off the TV, turning everything off, creating a quiet space for yourself. Clean up the environment to be able to focus. And then decrease the delay. That means create artificial deadlines for yourself. If the deadline is, let's say, the 23rd of March, tell yourself it's the 20th perhaps, because then you can add that pressure if you need those deadlines for yourself. Strategy number 3 is the forgiveness approach. I always say we're too hard on ourselves. We're our own worst enemy. So this one is huge. Research will show and prove that self-compassion actually reduces procrastination more than self-criticism. So again, put away the bat. When you mess up and procrastinate, instead of beating yourself up, try this. Acknowledge what had happened without judgment. I noticed I procrastinated on this project or on this task I was going to do. Remember, you're human. We're all human first. Everyone procrastinates sometimes, even with the strategies and even practicing, getting better at it. It's going to happen. Treat yourself like you would a really good friend. What do I need to move forward right now? Be gentle. Self-criticism, can't even talk, keeps yourself stuck in shame, which just fuels more procrastination. So don't do that. Self-compassion helps you learn and move forward. Be gentle. So now we have these strategies. That's one thing. But how are we going to implement them? That is completely another. You need a system. How do I do that? Well, here are the 4 steps that I use. Step number 1 is I identify my patterns. We did an episode on self-awareness, and this is another piece of the learning of self-awareness. Keep a log for yourself. Again, journaling, writing it down, you get to know yourself so much better, and you can look back, reflect. When do I procrastinate the most? What are the tasks that I procrastinate on? And what do I feel when I start to procrastinate or put things off? How am I feeling? What do I do instead? What are my distractions? You'll start to notice patterns emerging. So remember, self-awareness is always key. You can look at that past episode that's right here on our website or on YouTube. Step number 2, design your environment. Be intentional. Make it easier to do the right thing. Make it harder for yourself to put things off and do the wrong thing. If you procrastinate by scrolling on your phone, put your phone in another room when you work. If you avoid exercising, lay out your gym clothes and your sneakers, put them right there in front of you. Same thing about eating healthier. If you end up munching on those snacks, instead prepare the healthy snacks in advance. Whatever it is that you need to set yourself up for success, start creating that for yourself. Number 3, start itty bitty, stupidly small. I mean, little baby steps are going to get you to that large end goal. If you want to start meditating, start with one breath at a time, a minute or two of just breathing. If you want to exercise, again, put on your sneakers. Start using them as you're walking around outside or in the house, if you're allowed to wear them in the house. These little goals will start creating habits of starting. And that starting will help you achieve the end goal. And number 4, celebrate the small wins. If you incorporate those baby steps for yourself, when you have a small win and you've completed one, reward yourself. Your brain will learn with rewards. It's just like training mice in a lab. It's the same thing. They learn with the rewards at the end. So we train ourselves the same way. When you do something that you've been putting off, even if it's something small, celebrate it. Do a little dance. Check it off a list. Lists are very powerful and important because you can see as you're checking it off when you're going down. They work great. I plan out my day the night before, and it's so much fun just checking each thing off as I go. It creates positive associations in your brain. That's all it takes. Remember, you're not going to eliminate procrastination completely. We're human first. So don't be hard on yourself. It's impossible and actually be bad for you. Some procrastination can actually lead to creativity and better decisions, less impulsivity. You can step back and think. So you're just going to try to procrastinate less on the things that really matter to you. So we're going to wrap this up now. Keep it simple. Remember that procrastination is not a character flaw. It's a coping mechanism. Maybe that'll be easier for you to go easy on yourself. It's your brain trying to protect you from negative emotions. But now you have the tools to work with your brain instead of against it. So put them into action. Your 3 main strategies are the 2-minute rule with a twist, the procrastination equation, and the forgiveness approach. Pick one to focus on this week, just one. Don't try to do all 3 at once because that's just another form of overwhelming. You don't want to do that. I've created a free worksheet that goes along with this episode, so you can find it on our website at www.hoperegained.com. On the episodes tab, if you go to this episode on that page, it's there for you to download and print out. It will help you identify your procrastination type, track your patterns, and create your personal action plan. And here's your homework. Yes, I'm giving you homework to do on an episode about procrastination because I somewhat have a sense of humor. Not always, but sometimes. Pick one thing you've been putting off. Just one. We're starting with baby steps. Apply the 2-minute rule. Set the timer and do it for just 2 minutes of it today. Then come find me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or even in the comments here, and tell me what you chose. I read every single message, and I'm so grateful to those of you who message me. A lot of you choose to do it privately through our website, and that's okay too. I get it. We're starting small, but we're building a community of people who care about each other and want to support each other. So let me know your ideas as well, because I'm still learning too. I'm curious about where you're going to start with this. Thanks for hanging out with me again today. And if this episode helped you, and maybe there's somebody else you know that it could help, please share it with them. Again, we're building a community of support and positivity and growth. Remember that it's about progress, not perfection. You've got this. You're worth it. And I'll catch you next week.